Good morning, students. Let's continue our second chapter, chemical bonding. Last video I sent you about the electrovalent bond. Next bond is your covalent bond. So what is covalency? Already you have the idea what is covalency. Covalent bonds. Covalent bond is formed when the participating atoms mutually share electron with each other to satisfy their octet rule or to satisfy their nearest inert gas configuration. Okay, in simple words, covalent bond takes place by mutual sharing of electrons by the participating atoms. Okay, this type of bonding is known as covalent bond, and this type of valency is known as covalency. Again, the compound formed by mutual sharing of electrons are known as covalent compounds. Okay, so this is all about your covalent bond. Okay, then what is the condition why covalent bond takes place? You can think about the right side elements of the periodic table, that is the 15, 16, 17 group elements. They are having 5, 6 and 7 electron in their outermost shell. Okay, so they have to fill their octet, they have to satisfy their nearest inert gas configuration, but it is harder to lose this number of electrons from their outermost shell. Okay, along with that, that is the carbon group also, they are having 4 electrons. 4 electrons also it is harder to lose. Okay, in that case what happens, they are not gaining or not losing, mutually they are sharing the electrons, number of electrons, the definite number of electrons with the atoms which are having similar tendency. Okay, so mostly your 15, 16, 17 group along with yes 14, 15, 16, 17 groups along with your hydrogen, only hydrogen, first group only hydrogen, these elements are showing covalency. Okay, so in this case what happens, so these elements what I am telling here, these are the non-metals. Okay, so non-metals, when they are having 5, 6 or 7 electrons, due to the large energy difference, they cannot lose their electrons, so they prefer to share their electrons. In that case, when one nonmetal reacts with other nonmetal, they mutually share electron to fill their octet or to fill their nearest inert gas configuration. Okay, so mostly nonmetals reacts with nonmetal. So the nonmetals may be of different elements or nonmetal may be of same elements. That means, for example, your hydrogen chloride gas. Okay, here hydrogen is a nonmetal and chlorine is also a nonmetal. Hydrogen have a tendency to gain or lose one electron, that means deficiency of one electron. Again, chlorine is also having deficiency of one electron. At that time, both are sharing one electron each to make a electron pair and to make a covalent bond. That is the covalent bond between two unequal nonmetals. Okay, but the same covalent bond can be formed by the atoms of same thing. That means you can take chlorine gas. Chlorine gas molecule containing 2 chlorine atoms. So 2 chlorine atoms means both are having same tendency, both are having the deficiency of one electron. Due to that, both the atoms share one electron with each other to make a covalent bond. Okay, so the covalent bond can take place between the similar atoms or dissimilar atoms also. Now, what are the types of covalent bond? I told you previously, different type of covalent bonds are there according to the number of shared pair of electrons. If the shared pair of electron is 1, that is single covalent bond. If they are sharing, each are sharing a pair of electron, that is 2 shared pair of electrons are there, that is the double covalent bond. If both are sharing 3 electrons each, that is known as triple covalent bond. Okay, so now let's see example of each one. Okay, so first one, single covalent bond. Single covalent bond happens when each participating elements atoms sharing one electrons. So two cases I am taking. First one is your hydrogen and chlorine. This is single covalent bond. Again, hydrogen and what? Oxygen. Okay, these two are having the single covalent bonds. Here you can see hydrogen is having configuration only one, that is it has to satisfy the duplet form. It has the configuration 287. So both are having a deficiency of one electron. So hydrogen is sharing one electron and chlorine is sharing one electron. So by this sharing they are preparing a shared pair of electron, that is known as your single bond, which is denoted by its small short line, straight line. Okay, again in this case what happened, oxygen is having 2, 8, 2, 6. Okay, electronic configuration 2, 6. Again hydrogen, you know, one electron. So total both hydrogen having deficiency of 2 electron, each one means 2 electrons, and oxygen itself it is having a deficiency of 2 electron. So oxygen is sharing one electron this side and one electron with this hydrogen. Again this hydrogen is sharing one. So this hydrogen is getting the satisfaction of 2 electron. Oxygen itself it is getting the satisfaction of 8 because already it has 4. Okay, again this hydrogen is also having a satisfaction of 2 electron. So it is forming two single bonds, two single covalent bonds with two separate shared pair of electrons. Okay, second one, double bond. Double bond when each participating element shares 2 electrons each. Suppose I am telling you oxygen molecule. Oxygen is having 6 electrons in the outermost shell. Here also 6. Okay, so 2, 6. Here also 2, 6. This oxygen is sharing 2 electrons. This oxygen is also sharing 2 electrons, so that it can gain total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 electron in the outermost shell. This is also experience 8 electron in the outermost shell. That means nearest inert gas configuration. So that due to the double bond it becomes O double bond O. Okay, so this is the notation of double bond. Triple bond, again another example you can say, that is the ethene one. Okay, ethene carbon is combining with another carbon atom with a double bond. Okay, similarly triple bond. Triple bond when each participating element share 3 electrons each. Example your nitrogen. Nitrogen is having 5 electron in the outermost shell. Okay, so they have a deficiency of 3 electrons each. So each one sharing 3 electron each to make 3 shared pairs. Okay, so both are combining with each other with 3 shared pair of electron with a triple bond. Okay, with carbon also you can find out an example, that is ethane. Okay, a triple bond. Okay, so here all the 3 type of bonds over. Now what is covalency here? Covalency means the number of electrons shared by each atom. That means hydrogen shares 1 electron means its covalency is 1. Oxygen shares 2 electron means its covalency is 2. Nitrogen is sharing 3 electron means its covalency is 3. Similarly carbon having covalency 4. Okay, next topic comes to polar and non-polar bond. So next one is your polar and non-polar. Okay, I told you single covalent bonds can be divided into 2 parts. Some are polar, some are nonpolar. Polar covalent bonds are those bonds when the shared pair of electrons are not remaining at the center of the two atoms, okay, that are tilted towards one atom, that is polar. Again, when the shared pair of electrons remain at the center, at the middle of the two participating atoms, that is known as nonpolar. Okay, so previously you know, in 9th class also you know why this polarity comes due to the nuclear charge, but now you already understood the electronegativity. Let us understand the polarity due to in accordance with the electronegativity. Electronegativity, all of you know, the tendency to attract the shared pair of electron towards the center of the atom. Okay, so already you have the table in the previous chapter about the electronegativity of each and every atom. Okay, we can correlate. Let's see with example. Okay, hydrogen and chlorine. Here what happened? Chlorine, according the table you can see, chlorine is having electronegativity that is 3.0. okay, chlorine is having electronegativity 3.0. hydrogen is having electronegativity 2.1. you can refer to the table. Okay, so due to the electronegativity difference, chlorine is higher, so shared pair of electron is coming nearer to the chlorine, that is slanted towards chlorine. Due to that, what happened? A temporary negative charge is created at the chlorine, and temporary positive charge, it is not a permanent one, it is the passive one, or you can say temporary one. That's why I am saying the delta sign. Okay, temporary positive charge created at hydrogen. Due to that, what happened? A polarity comes here, okay, forming a polar covalent bond. Okay, so what is the effect of this time? When there is a polar covalent bond created in the suitable situation, in the solution form, what happened? The shared pair of electrons permanently shifted towards the chlorine atom, forming the Cl minus ion, and it is deficient of electron, so it is forming H plus ion. This type of process is known as your ionization. Okay, the splitting of a polar covalent bond is known as ionization. Okay, similarly, oxygen, hydrogen, what is this? This is your yes, this is water molecule. This is 3.5 electronegativity. Hydrogen, you know, 2.1. Here also 2.1. You can see the difference. Due to this difference, what happened? Again, electron is tilted one side. It is tilted towards oxygen. Why not other side? Because already it is the efficiency of electron, so it cannot drag other side. Okay, so due to this, there is a positive negative charge here. Here is a positive charge. Here is a positive charge created. Okay, so at the suitable situation, it breaks here to give H plus ion and OH minus ion. So these are the examples of polar covalent bonds. Okay, but what happened in carbon with hydrogen? Carbon, hydrogen, what is this? This is the methane one. Carbon is having electronegativity 2.5. It is 2.1. It is quite closer to each other. That's why it is a non-polar covalent bond. Okay, so in terms of covalency, in terms of negativity, electronegativity, we can define the polar and non-polar. Okay, so electronegativity difference, when it is highest, when there is a strong when electronegativity difference is highest, at that case there is a electrovalent bond. Okay, when it is less or considerable, there is a polar covalent bond. when there is zero difference or negligible difference. Okay, at that case non-polar covalent bond created. Okay, so that is the condition of polarity or different type of bonds. Okay, so this is the conditions. After that, like your electrovalent bond, let's see what is the reason behind the covalent bond. What are the reasons behind the covalent bond? So after summarizing, you can find out first major difference is the electronegativity difference may be less or negligible. Okay, then ionization potential is higher for both, okay, both participating atoms, and electron affinity, that is also higher in both cases. These three conditions, if these three conditions maintain, then there is a covalent bond. Okay, other than some cases you can say, other cases you can say when both are having similar tendency or both are having same type of wanting, at that case they are finding the covalent bond. Okay, so likewise you can find out when in between the comparison between the oxides. Okay, left side oxides in the periodic table, when you are going from left to right, left side oxides, they are having strong electronegativity difference, so they are forming the electrovalent bonds. Middle one sometime covalent, sometime electrovalent, and right side one like your chlorine Cl2O7, okay, chlorine, these are the completely covalent bond. Okay, here one example I want to say, this is amphoteric one, sometime covalent, somewhat covalent, somewhat electrovalent. Here it is Na2O, it is completely electrovalent. Okay, next we have to understand different examples of different type of covalent bonds. Different example, like your electrovalent bond, we have to understand different covalent bonds. Consider some examples of both polar and covalent compounds. So I am writing the examples which are not discussed previously. I will discuss that one. Okay, so polar and non-polar compounds I am going to say. Okay, so non-polar one, your carbon tetrachloride, methane, okay, chlorine molecule, hydrogen molecule, oxygen molecule, nitrogen molecule, etc. Okay, similarly polar one, water, HCl, ammonia. Okay, then these are the polar one, okay, where the electronegativity difference is higher. Okay, so some example structure and the dot structure I have to say. Okay, here water one already I told, ammonia one I am going to say, nitrogen is having 3 electrons in their outermost, 5 electron in the outermost shell. The configuration is 2,5. Okay, so it need another 3 electrons to satisfy their nearest inert gas configuration, that is the neon. Okay, that's why it is combining with 3 hydrogen atom. It shares 3 electrons with 3 hydrogen atoms separately to form 3 covalent bonds. Why I am giving different signs? Because the electrons of the different element, you can say give the same sign also. So what it causes, when it shares 3 pairs, it creates 3 bonds with 3 hydrogen atom. So the formula of ammonia is NH3. Okay, previously hydrogen and hydrochloric acid, this one I told, so no need to explain again. Come here, carbon tetrachloride. Carbon is having electronic configuration 2 4, and chlorine is having electronic configuration 2 8 7. Okay, I am writing below 287. So it has a deficiency of 1 electron. So in 4 chlorine will share each is 1 electron each with 4 carbon electrons to make 4 separate 4 single covalent bonds. So it gives you to give you CCl4. Okay, similarly in case of methane also having deficiency of 4 electron. So here you can ask why it is a nonpolar, because two causes are there. Carbon is having electronegativity 2.5 and chlorine is 3, almost nearer. Okay, and 4 side chlorine is attracted, chlorine molecules are attracting through 4 sides, so the electronegativity balances each other, that's why it is nonpolar. Okay, then oxygen, all other elements you know properly. Hydrogen, one left hydrogen, I am saying 2 hydrogen atoms sharing 1 electron with each other to give a nearest inert gas configuration, that is the helium one. So that is showing the single covalent bond which is a nonpolar one. Other things you can understand. Now let's consider. Okay, I think here your examples over. So many examples are there in book. Go through that. If difficult, we will discuss again. Okay, next, the most important topic, that is the comparison between the covalent compounds and electrovalent compounds. Okay, covalent compounds and electrovalent compounds. Okay, what are the comparison? Okay, first one, by nature. By nature, due to the strong electrostatic force, they are combined with each other with a strong force of attraction. Due to that, most of them are, all of them, you can say all of them are hard solids. Okay, by nature they are hard solids due to the strong electrostatic force of attraction. This type of questions are coming in the give reason questions. Whereas the covalent bonds, what is the nature? Due to the weakest bond or weaker bond, they may be soft solid or liquids or gases. Okay, next one, boiling point and melting point. Again, due to the strong electrostatic force of attraction, the electrovalent bonds are having higher melting point and boiling point. Both melting point and boiling point are higher here, because to overcome the force of attraction we need a larger energy or larger heat supply. But in the covalent bond, due to their soft solids, liquids and gases, both melting point and boiling point is lower. Okay, then electroconductivity. Okay, so electron conductivity, electrovalent bonds, they are containing ions. Okay, so due to the presence of ions in their molten state and fused state. In solid state they are not contained, the ions are not free to move. That's why in their molten state or fused state or in solution form they can conduct electricity. But they cannot conduct electricity because there is no possibility of ions. But some polar covalent bonds, they can conduct electricity in their solution form due to the presence of ions. Okay, next one, ionization in the solution. Okay, ionization or dissociation. So electrovalent bonds overcome dissociation, complete dissociation. That is taking place because the presence of ions. When they are molten or when they are in the solution forms, they are undergoing complete dissociation. But in covalent bonds, they are undergoing ionization. Ionization means no permanent ions are present, but when suitable condition comes, they are ionizing, they are separate, creating ions. But the extent of ionization is less here. Here it is higher. Okay. So fifth, four methods we compared. Then fifth one. Again I am telling you, all these are coming in give reason question. Why question will come? So you have to understand and remember this with reason. Okay. So next one is your solubility. Solubility, covalent compounds, due to they are nonpolar, mostly nonpolar or not containing ions, they are soluble in nonpolar solvents like your organic solvents. Okay. Nonpolar solvents, understood? They are dissolving in organic solvents or nonpolar solvents. Example, alcohols, toluene, benzene, so many organic solvents are there. Similarly, here what is the case? Due to their containing ion, they are undergoing dissociation, so they are not soluble in organic solvents. They are soluble in inorganic solvents and mostly polar solvents like your water. Okay, like water, they are soluble. Next one, number 6, that is the reactivity. Okay, reactivity, due to their weaker bonds, the reactivity is less. Due to the weaker bond, the reactivity is less. That means the reacting tendency is less. But due to here the electrostatic force is there, their ions, their charged particles are present. Due to that, the reactivity is faster. Okay. So when ionic compounds reacting, you can see the reaction takes place or carried out in a single step. Most rapidly the reaction carried out in a single step. But when covalent compounds reacting, the reaction proceeds slowly and multiple products are formed in different stages. If you want a product, you can check the condition and you can get different type of products. Example, you will read in the organic chemistry, we will go through that. Okay. Sure. Here I am completing all the terms, all the related terms, all the related facts, and what are the reason behind each fact. Already I discussed. Okay, go through the portion, and your homework is the in-text question. Again, after covalent compound, there is a in-text question. Complete that one. Next one is your coordinate bond. That one we are going to take a online class. In the contact class or Zoom class, I am going to solve the third part. That is the completion of this chapter. Okay, thank you.